Burning Man.
Burning Man. Really?
Great. Is there anyone whose category I did not call?
Oh, yeah. Friends of John Chisholm, yeah.
Welcome. Increasingly, we are recognizing that economies like rainforests and the human brain are complex adaptive systems, emergent from the bottom up and from the interactions of many agents, chaotic and unpredictable, that is sensitively dependent on initial conditions, and subject to unintended consequences of top-down interventions. We are recognizing that economies are much more akin to coral reefs and jungles than they are to machinery. Hayek and the Austrian school were the first economists to recognize this. Hayek may have well been the first economist to use the term complexity in his writings. To my mind, he should be a hero to all of us. Before I introduce our honored guest and distinguished speaker, I'd like to introduce one other guest tonight, and that is Chris Talley, president of Indianapolis-based Liberty Fund, our co-sponsor for tonight's event. The Liberty Fund promotes the study of the ideal of society, the ideal of a society of free and responsible individuals. They have kindly provided copies for us tonight of Mises's classic Liberalism, a book that was early to recognize that private property empowers everyone.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that very much, and I will take just a couple of minutes because really we want to hear from Dr. Kolm about this Austrian economics school that provides for us a basis of understanding the institutions for a free society. Liberty Fund is the legacy of an Indianapolis, Indiana-based businessman by the name of Pierre Goodrich, who learned his economics on his own and through the cooperation of other like-minded foundations, such as the Foundation for Economic Education in Irvington, New York, and others, and came to the Austrian School of Thought as a process of thinking through what it means for man to be free, what the institutions are that are necessary to perpetuate that freedom in a society, and what sort of government, limited in nature, is necessary to provide the constitutional order to protect those freedoms.
Born and raised in Tyrol, the most independent state of Austria, and before that, the most independent city-state of the Austrian Empire. As you'll see, she has inherited that independence. Her family were lawyers and business people. Later, she would come to love business and be bored by lawyers. Innsbruck, twice home of the Winter Olympics, is the capital of Tyrol, and she paid her way through college as a ski instructor. For her bachelor's and master's degrees in business administration and economics, she studied at the University of Innsbruck and UCLA, and received her PhD in economics from Innsbruck. For 8 years, she ran and expanded a professional photography retail business in Austria. In 1994, she was elected as Tyrolean State Representative, a position to which she was twice re-elected, and in which she served until 2006. In 2000, she was invited to lead the Hayek Institute, which meant commuting weekly between Innsbruck and Vienna. After leaving public office in 2006, she moved to Vienna and spun out from the Hayek Institute its companion organization, the Austrian Economics Center. While the Hayek Institute focuses on economic issues within Austria, the Austrian Economics Center applies the same thinking on a global scale. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Barbara Kolm.